in the middle of setting us up in this parsha for the dramatic and momentous Eser Makos and Yetzias Mitzrayim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu promises to Moshe Rabbeinu that he will do all the things that are required to get Klal Yisrael from a nation in servitude to an Am Hashem. The four Lashonos of Geula, all of the Avtachos of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's will, and Moshe Rabbeinu's counter-attack. How are you going to listen to me? Paro doesn't listen to me. Hashem said, Paro will listen to you. In the midst of all this preparation, all of this extremely intense relating of the story, the whole story stops. The whole story stops, and all of the Mefarshim are astounded that we started Sefer Yichus by Sheni in Vaeira. Eile Rosh Vesavosim Reuven goes to Reuven, goes to Shimon, goes to Levi, and goes through the Yichus of all of Shevet Levi, including Aaron and all of their side branches, and then finally winds up with the famous pasuk, Hu Aaron and Moshe asher amar Hashem lohem hotzios bnei Yisrael mi'eretz Mitzrayim al tzavaisam heim hamadabrim el paroi. This is Perek Vav, pasuk Chav Zayin and Chav Ches. Heim hamadabrim el paroi melech Mitzrayim lahotzios bnei Yisrael mi'Mitzrayim Hu Moshe v'Aaron. So it gives us the Yichus brief of Moshe and Aaron. So came out all of the Mefarshim, or many of the Mefarshim, from Rishonim to Achronim. I happen to look at Rosh Hashanah for Hirsch, make the point, the very vital point, that these people, as great as they were people. They were not beings from another planet, from some supernatural beings. They were not gods, which many other religions did to their heroes. That's point number one. And the flip side of that is that these people came with the Yichus, as Rosh Hashanah Hirsch says so pointedly. Not some lunatic got up one day and says, I am Mashiach, or I'm going to get you out of here. And he's a man who's deranged. These were people who were very, very Yichustic, very, very heilige people. They had the Yichus, they had the schools, they had the qualifications, if you want to use that word, to be the Manhiga Yisrael and the Moshiach of Yisrael. However, this last pasuk presents a particular difficulty. Heim hamadabrim el paroi melech Mitzrayim. They're the ones who spoke to Mitzrayim. The ones who are speaking, not who spoke, who are speaking. And that's a very important word here. The entire paragraph, I'm looking at the section here, is all in Lashon Avar, is in past tense. Okay? Asher Amar Hashem Lohem, Hashem said to them, Hosius b'nei Yisrael. And and this pasuk is in Lashon Hoiveh. Hem hamadabrim, they're talking to Paro. Who Moshe v'Aaron? So the startling question, the clear-cut question is, pasuk is repeating itself. Pasuk never repeats itself. Who Moshe v'Aaron just said so. Who Aaron and Moshe? Yes, we know that Moshe and Aaron and Moshe Shkulim, that they considered each other as equals. We know that Moshe was a Yadoin HaNeviim, but they were small enough, were modest enough to include each other as their equal. So that's one answer about Moshe and Aaron and Moshe. But the pasuk is still repeating itself. Why is the pasuk doing that? So the Be'er Mayim Chaim gives a gavaldik pshat here, which is a tremendous Musar Haskel to us even until today. Who are Moshe She'ar Moshe Lohem? And then the pasuk stops. Who are Moshe She'ar Moshe Lohem? And then it says, Heim hamadabrim el paroi melech Mitzrayim. It gives you that pause, that the other ones who are talking, who are speaking to Paro on a Hoiveh basis. Hoiveh. Who Moshe and Aaron? These are Moshe and Aaron. So this is what the Be'er Mayim Chaim has to tell you, the clue here. What is the pasuk telling you here? This Moshe and Aaron, that we just went through the whole Yichus brief, we know what heilige people they are. These people reached the highest level of Kedusha Elyoina, okay? Through their own efforts, by the way, not because they were God-made or God-like. Through their own efforts. They stayed the same level of perfection. They're the same Kamoy as when they started out. Even after they had to come and spend time, have yikuchim, and had arguments with Paroi. Their tumah of Mitzrayim did not affect them one whit. Not even Kamalei Nima says, not a hairbreadth. the Kedusha of Aaron and Moshe remained exactly the same, that the Tumah of Paro had zero effect on them. That's why the Pasuk says, Heim hamedamrim el Paroi. Their whole long, constant hoividik, constant discussions with Paro had no effect on them. Yes, their discussions took a long, long time. It took quite a few months, if not years. And it did not have any negative effect on them through their own zahirus, through their own care and concern and watchfulness over the level that they had achieved and continued to maintain. So we live in a time of deal making. You give a little, you get a little. If you want to get something, you have to give in a little bit. Unfortunately, that's true in much of life, but not in the real yesodistic of things in life. The real people, and we just finished Hanukkah not long ago, the real people who are the real heroes are the ones who are unable to compromise on their midos and on their requirements and on their what they wanted from the people. All of their real yesodistic concepts. They were not willing to compromise one bit. Mordechai in Purim was not willing to compromise, and Matesho in his time of Chanukah was not willing to compromise. And in exactly the same way, all of our leaders throughout generations, and even in our own time, Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld was famous, was brutally criticized by the other members of the, certainly the anti-Dati, but even the Dati, give a little bit. Nope. He refused to compromise any one of his principles. He never compromised. He fought for what he believed in, and he won. And all of our leaders who did this, they won. We have to learn from this. When it comes to our principles, we don't compromise. We try to give in a little bit and get a little bit in other things in life, but not when it comes to our principles. We see certain parts of our, how shall I say, religious experience, where people are trying to cut corners a little bit. They down a little faster, they come a little bit later, they don't wear the things that we used to wear. And some people accept that, and we say we have to look away and we have to be accepting everyone, and there's a point to that. There is such a point to Kirov. There is such a point of being accepting of everyone and everybody and of everything that they came from in order to bring them closer to us. However, we have to not compromise our principles. The Arba Minim of Sukkot, Lulav, Esrog, Hadasim, and Aravis. The three of them are together, the Lulav and the Hadasim and the Aravis, but the Esrog is kept in a separate box. It's kept separately away from the other three. When we do the mitzvah, we do it together. But when we're not doing the mitzvah, we keep them separate. We keep our principles untarnished, unqualified, and uncompromised. We want to make sure that we know what we're talking about. We want to make sure that we know what we stand for and continue that for our Doris, for our children and our grandchildren, so that we can continue our Segulas and our Yeshuas and continue our Shalshelas, a good word, until Yom Mashiach B'Meir V'Meinu. Amen.